our love of film to you. I'm your host, Lana.
And I'm Bill. Doesn't matter if you're in the film industry or just a fan, we have a great show for you today.
Have you heard that they're doing a sequel to today's breakdown film, The Goonies?
They are, not a remake like they do everything else from our youth.
Donner is bringing back cast members from the original, going to be them grown up with kids of their own.
That actually could be pretty cool if they don't choke and blow it. Maybe Joe Polentano can come back and be the bad guy again.
Think of the actors who came out of The Goonies. Josh Brolin, Sean Astin, and Martha Plimpton are just a few.
That is because Goonies never say die. Join us at the table for some movie talk with Mr. TJ Cooley and makeup artist Clarissa Miller. And then we will break down the classic film Goonies.
So enjoy this short from TJ, and we will see you in a few minutes.
Hello? Uh-huh. Oh, come on. Come on, you're kidding. Uh-huh. Alright, you got the wrong guy. Come on, get up. You got the wrong guy. Come on, let's go. Come on, get out. Get out, let's go. Move it. Move it. Get out, let's go. Move it.
Where we are is a location that cannot be found. But it is a place where mistakes are made and sins are accomplished. Between light and dark, life and death, there lies terror.
Hello? That guy. The guy in front of me? Oh yeah, I can take care of him.
Welcome back to Film Speak. Lana and I are joined by Clarissa Miller, a makeup artist, and T.J. Cooley, filmmaker, graphic artist. I guess you kind of a multifunctional hat wearer.
You try. You try. Sometimes in filmmaking you have to do lots of things to get it done.
It's a diversifying, I think, is
Yes.
what's that called? Or maybe it's being too poor to afford to pay a whole bunch of people, so you end up doing it yourself.
Multi-talented.
Otherwise known as filmmaker.
Yes.
Filmmaker. Yeah, all-encompassing title.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both very much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
I guess we'll start with you, sir. Exactly what projects have you been working on lately?
I have a few. I'm consulting for a reality TV show, which is really neat watching these guys put all this together. I'm also working on a completely different reality TV show. As a filmmaker, I'm used to putting things together in either an order, having a certain structure. But with the reality show that we're running, it's just a lot of footage to go through, a lot of mining, a lot of organization, much more than I was really prepared for. So it's been an education.
So is it like having to pour through 8, 9 hours of footage so you can get 15 minutes kind of thing?
A day per camera for 5 cameras.
Wow, yeah, that's insane.
So a lot of it is involved with the 1 or 2 PAs per camera to make notes, to make special notes, to kind of highlight everything beforehand. So when we run dailies, you're running through all these clips. And a lot of times, and if it was film, it'd be near impossible. But it's nice to have someone run through, we want you to look at this, we want to see this, we want to, and then break those down even further to get even something digestible to start editing.
So it's almost like, you know, at this mark, 1 hour and 22 minutes into shooting, we have a nipple slip, and then she threw her beer in his face. So
yes, yes. Except for us, usually the whole top just comes off. So, yeah.
That's good reality.
It because everyone has that kind of reality on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So I hear you have some really great stuff going on with the studio in Columbus.
Yes, I work at JMO Music and Movie Studios. We have 5 rehearsal rooms and recording rooms and a full stage, and that's the initial part of it all. and we also have 3 large sound stages for about 17,000 square feet each.
It's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
It is. We're after the lower indie people, 1 million to 10 million, 12 million area. So horror movies, sci-fi, that kind of thing. We got plenty of room to, build sets. And you'd figure there's not a whole lot of that going on in Columbus. So we're garnering people to come in from out of state and out of city. But the goal is for the local filmmakers who couldn't normally afford a sound stage, is to get them in. So we're looking at, for-profit, but also kind of non-profit. So that way we can get other talent in to get good experience with real equipment, real sound stages, to get them up to par to start working on feature films.
Indie filmmaker friendly.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
Exactly.
Well, it also kind of acts as a double-edged sword because on one hand, you are supporting the local industry and local up-and-coming filmmakers, but also if they're coming through your studio, you're able to check them out and be also network like the future connections that you will need.
Correct. I mean, we've been compared a lot to Motown. Where Motown was just a label. Then you started getting in the right people from the right bands, and you cross-connecting them, and you build from there. And it's the same kind of thing. There'll be a lot of local talent coming in as Grips and his crew and his PA, but as people float up to the top, they're going to make their features. They're going to work on better products. So, and it's just going to grow from there, and we're already starting to see it.
Now, what has happened recently at the studio that you thought was kind of cool?
Oh, the studio's claim to fame, which keeps the doors open, is they're the nation's largest food truck manufacturer. They're called a la carte. So I get to see these trucks come in as just frames and go out as these full food trucks. And we just had a Sprinter van come in, and it's your normal Sprinter van you see on the highway that's going to get gutted and turned into a Jamba Juice truck. And that's, pulling out everything, rewiring everything, the lights, the grills, the whole restaurant is going to fit into the Sprinter van. So I'm looking forward to documenting, seeing that process, step by step, all the welding. We're going to cover the designs and, be able to put that out on YouTube and make a, probably 20-minute short out of how you transfer a regular vehicle into a restaurant, essentially.
A rolling restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
Now, Clarissa, we know that you're a hair and makeup artist, very talented, but you also love movies.
I do.
We know she is actually the hair and makeup for this show that you're watching. Yeah, see? And you can see also from her own makeup how talented she is, but she's also a film lover. Now, what do you think of the local film industry in Dayton?
Well,
I don't know. I just do hair and makeup, man. Come on.
yeah, really. No idea.
Well, you've worked with Burn Mill on a few shorts.
Yes.
Do you feel like there is a growth for the industry in Dayton?
Yeah. I don't think, I don't know what I was about to say. I forgot. But I think that, Burn Mill can do really more than anyone realizes, even though they're starting in Dayton, which is not that big. And I think that, in Dayton, you can still get big regardless. Does that make sense?
Do you think that there are a lot of locations in the Dayton area that would be appealing if people would give Dayton a chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, I love cities, and I think Dayton, even though it's not that big at all, it's there are so many places that look so pretty, and you can get so many, nice views if you're willing to actually look at it.
Now, as a hair and makeup, and for maybe any of our viewers who might be concerned about it, where's the best place that you go for getting tips on how to do stuff and stay on top of trends?
Probably Pinterest.
Pinterest?
Probably.
Is that a website?
Yeah, or an app. They have a good app.
Do you find yourself going to Pinterest and finding
Yes.
really cool ways to do
Yes.
your eyes?
Often.
How many pins have you placed for eyeshadow?
Too many.
What about lip gloss?
Don't
Even more.
even start.
Now,
You know.
Do you watch?
She is a lipstick addict.
Yeah.
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 That I do know.
How many different shades of lipstick do you think you have? And what's your favorite brand?
Okay, well, I have my whole bag of lipstick, and my favorite brand,
Or is it more about the shade for you as opposed to the brand?
I don't know. I really like Sephora's lipsticks and lip glosses, and I think that it does have to do with the shade. I'm really picky.
Yeah.
Really picky about my lipsticks.
So do you watch any of those tutorials on YouTube?
Not really. I probably should.
When you
But
think
I
about
don't.
doing makeup for a character in film, how much does like outside or inside come into play how you choose your coloring?
Well, I think a lot of it is like what they're wearing, obviously. But then, like, if you like the mood of it, I think different moods and tones like need different colors of makeup. I think it's really important.
Now, TJ, do you have any projects or anything coming up? Anything in the works?
There is a few. Of course, Columbus has a great turnout for the 48-hour Film Fest, which is probably coming up in June, July. And of course, Cincy in Cleveland, probably participate in one of those. I'm working on 3 features at the moment.
Wow.
Well, it's floating, those 3. Those are my personal ones. They're the ones I picked. These are the ones that I really want to do. These ones I want to invest with. Been talking with a gentleman out in California who's looking to shoot a baseball movie here in town that I would really like to help out with.
The Last at Bat?
Dummy Hoy.
Oh, wow. Never
No.
heard of it.
Different
yeah.
one. Okay.
A different one.
Dummy's was a deaf baseball player.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made a short. The director producer made a short and got a bunch of all-star baseball people interested. So that's where he's getting a lot of his money from.
Wow.
So he's got the script. It's really nice. It's covering something that we're not normally used to. A deaf sports person.
Sure.
But if you've seen baseball, they have their hand signals to communicate. That originally came from him.
Wow. I did
Interesting.
not
That's
know
really cool.
that.
I did
Sweet.
not
I
either.
love learning something new on my own show.
Yeah, he was a legend, and you usually don't hear about it because he's deaf.
Yeah.
We usually don't support the handicapped, and it's just great story.
You see, I had heard the name, and I think I knew vaguely about his handicap, but I did not know that that's where hand signals and all of that originated from. That's pretty
That's
awesome.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're usually used to yelling out whatever else, but of course you can hand signal, you can bury it and not let the other
Sure.
team onto it. We
Yeah.
can all understand run. So now if you're able to signal that without the other team knowing,
Yeah.
that
One-
would quite
one
the
of these.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I'm working on that. Between the studio, the other things going on there, the reality show, being a filmmaker, it's a little odd doing your own reality show. It's not my forte. So I really want to get back to features.
Sure.
And there's a sci-fi short that I'm in the middle of. So
Very nice.
I'm just starting the skeletons. So I've been working on it for like 2-3 years now.
Writing?
Writing and putting it together, and it's always that process of you write it, this is what I want.
Sure.
You set it down because you really want to do it, but when you come back that month or 2 later, it's garbage. It's horrible. Who would say a line like that? And you got to come at it from it fresh. And
Yeah.
it's one of the things you pick up on it. As an early filmmaker, rarely do you just pen something and you run it off. I run it through the mill, then I talk to people, then I doubt myself, as all filmmakers do, and it's taken a while, but I think I have something really solid now.
Very
so
cool.
I'm excited.
Sci-fi short.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sci-fi.
I do.
Yeah, it's a lot of people don't realize the writing process, because I rewrite stuff several times. Usually, by the time when I send it to Lana, it's already been rewritten twice, and then by the time she gets done with it, I'm usually rewriting it 2 more times.
Well, Stephen King said, good writing is not writing. Good writing is rewriting.
Yeah.
And that's it. Sometimes you got to go over it a bunch of times. And my real problem with features is I've already been through it so much. Going back and changing things and then trying to reread it like I haven't seen it 15 times. Like I haven't seen that situation now twisted. I still keep going back to the original, and I find it hard to clear my head and try and take it in afresh.
Yeah. It can be difficult to step away from it like that.
So it's always handy to have other filmmakers around to help out.
I see. I'm a big believer that great art comes from collaboration. And it's when you collaborate with other people and you open your mind to what they have to say. It doesn't mean that, I mean, if it's your project, it doesn't mean that you have to do what everybody says, because then you'll end up with some crazy, all over the place type thing. But you have to keep your mind open to other people's input, and because you might get something where you're like, oh wow, I didn't think of it like that, but boy, does that really show new dimension on my character and what I was trying to say. And you have to have, because I've met so many people who are closed-minded. That this is what I thought. This is my project. I don't want to hear your opinion. This is just doing it what my way is, and I think that's just a bad way to go. I mean, works for some people, but I don't think it works for me.
And the other side is bad too. When you're looking for ideas, and someone gives out their idea that's so far out there, and now you've got to tell them, that's kind of neat, but it's not going to work here.
Yeah.
So it's, for me, I find it a lot easier to set up parameters. This is where this character's going. We have kind of an arch and pillar situation. These are the pillars. These have to happen.
Yeah.
How you connect those, are open to interpretation,
What is-
open to
yeah.
collaboration.
The arc between the pillars.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you can build on top of that. But the guy has to walk in the door. He has to see the dead body. Does he put down his keys? Does he call his best friend? Does he make himself a sandwich? Those are all, connectors and vary in different styles and looks and feels, but you have to know these pillars.
Does he make the sandwich before or after he sees the dead body?
Correct.
Yeah,
Is it more comedic where he drops the body on, drops the sandwich on the body?
And then wipes the blood off, still eats it.
Correct. But if we all know that as a crew, we all know that in the storyboards, these certain things happen. It's a whole lot easier to get collaboration in from other people because they now know that space aliens shouldn't be arriving.
Yeah.
Just random out of the blue something flashes in.
Right.
And you don't have to shut anyone down, and the crew feels like they're participating more, which helps in that collaboration, and then you're all really making this movie.
And I guess that's a big difference too, is because I always say I want to hear everybody's ideas. Doesn't mean I'll take them. I always say that up front too. It doesn't mean I'm going to actually take your idea, but I want to hear it. But of course, I haven't been on a movie with 200 people in a crew. Because I doubt you can get anything done if you have 200 people who want to come and express their ideas to you.
I've run 48-hour film fests with crews upwards of 40 people, where a lot of people usually, maybe 10 is too many.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of amateurs, or a lot of people that want to make films but never had that opportunity. But again, putting in the parameters of this is what we need, this is where we're going, really limits that. Let's take it, to the nth degree, outside our realm, and really draws everybody in. I'll have safety meetings, I'll have group meetings, I'll have the actors all come in, have read through the script, and that's where we start putting in our ideas. And it builds on like an onion, and it layers up to get everybody involved. And I don't find it difficult with 40 people on a set. That way everyone knows where they're coming from.
Yeah. And that way you have enough people to where your inexperienced people have,
Other people to look at and learn from.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank
Correct.
you.
And then they'll somewhere, regardlessly, jump in and add in some sort of idea and say, wow, I added an idea in a part of this movie, and they take it on as their own. So you wind up having this possession of this movie from all angles. And it's nice to hear them and get a line from, hey, you remember when I was on your set, last year? I made this movie. It's like, great. You got inspired. You went out and did it. And you got other people from my set to help you out.
Yeah.
And, and you knew people. And you went from nowhere to being a somebody. And that's always exciting to me.
Yeah.
I love to help out with that.
That is just great. Well, thank you guys for talking about local movie. We're going to take a little break, watch a little something, and then when we come back, we'll be breaking down the 80s classic, The Goonies. Join us again. And
drinking alone? Oh, you're him from the news. Damn. I'm sorry. Must have been horrible finding her that way. How long were you married?
2 years.
Not nearly enough time. Then again, it never is it?
I keep reliving that day over and over. I should have been there.
What would you give
Excuse me?
to be there when it happened? What would you give to catch the bastard who did that to her? To take a knife and run it across his throat? What would you give?
Who are you?
You know who I am, John. I'm the one who will give you what you want. Take it. It's yours if you want it.
It's a coin.
No, it's much more than a coin, John. It's your chance to see Sarah again. All you have to do is take it. But know this, nothing is free in this world.
Sarah? Sarah! Sarah? Sarah? Sarah!
John,
No. No, no,
it
no.
hurts.
No. Who are you?
Come now, John. We've been over this before. You know who
John,
I am.
it hurts.
What do you want?
You know what I want.
Sarah? Sarah!
You know how this ends, John. Sarah's not going to make it. How could a man live with himself, knowing he had killed his own wife? I couldn't imagine a worse hell. Could you? Excellent. Now let's try that once more, with feeling. Oh, you're him from the news. What would you give to catch the bastard who did that to her? To take a knife and run it across his throat? It's yours if you want it.
It's a coin. Who are you?
You know who I am, John. I'm the one who will give you what you want. All you have to do is take it. But know this, nothing is free in this world.
welcome back to Film Speak. Sitting here with my co-host Lana and talking to TJ and Clarissa. We're about to break down the 80s classic movie Goonies. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
I guess I'll start off, TJ. How do you feel about Goonies?
I loved Goonies as a kid. It's one of those things that I never got on VHS tape that I've always wanted. You know, I always expected, you collected your Blade Runner, you collected some of your other classics, but you never saw Goonies for the longest time. And I think I probably picked up my copy probably 2 years ago. Was it 3 maybe, when they finally came out in DVD? And I was like, Goonies, you know, and I got to actually, you know, sit down and watch it, and it was odd being a filmmaker, you know, rewatching it. I didn't go back to my childhood. I went to, how did they do that? Oh, that shot, you know, and I started analyzing it and losing some of that magic. But then the more I learned about it, the more I dug into it, the more I realized when, you know, again, rekindled that joy for completely different reasons.
Yeah, you see, for me, it's a similar thing. I never stopped watching it. I watched it, went twice in one day back in the summer of '84, I think, to go see it. And ever since then, through HBO, through renting it at video stores, through owning it on VHS, to having it on DVD, I probably watch it 2-3 times a year.
Wow.
And have for the past, what would that be, 20 years now? 30 years? 30 years. It'd be 30 years now. So, well, we were just talking about it. For me, it was a big deal when I was a kid because it was the first time where I saw kids in a movie that I related to. I was a dork. I wasn't like everybody else. I was always a poor kid, one of the PKs. And here were kids like I was, who talked like I did and acted like I did with their friends and made fun of them. Yeah, the truffle shuffle, the whole 9 yards. That's why it meant so much to me as a kid. What do you think of Goonies there, Clarissa?
Well, I was not alive when it came out, actually, believe it or not. But I still watched it when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I just wanted to be like them. I really did. I just wanted to go on a weird adventure like they did, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
That's a big part of it, is the adventure of being a kid, being able to have that. Because it's like what they said in the movie, that you know, the parents, you know, it's their time up there, but it's our time down here. Right. And as a kid, that's what I always wanted. I wanted it to be, you know, our time to make a difference as a kid and have that adventure. What do you think? What do you think of Goonies, Lana?
What I love about this movie is with every one of these kids, there is a quirk or an aspect of them that you can relate with every single one of them. And I love the movement in the film. I love when Josh Brolin is on the bike going down the hill chasing the car. Love, love, love that scene. And then the other scene I absolutely love is Chunk, when they've got his hand in the blender.
Yeah.
And he starts confessing all this other stuff, these little things that he did, and it breaks my heart because he's so adorable.
I read that how that actor, what is his name, Jeff Cohen, I think, or something like that. Yeah, like Jeff Cohen. He thought of his mom dying for that scene, and that's how he was able to get that kind of depth. And one of the stories he told was about his sister, Edie. He says, I pushed my sister Edie down the stairs. He improv'd that, really has a sister Edie. So it makes me think, you know, did he really push his sister down the stairs and then blame it on the dog? And the whole thing with the puking, you know, where he's like, I went up to the balcony and I had the puke in my jacket and I poured it over the people after I went, okay, I guess Steven Spielberg really did that when he was a kid.
Oh, that's funny.
And they worked it into the screenplay, the stories and stuff. So it's pretty. I do love that scene too.
That's awesome.
Because they're just sitting there listening to him say all that stuff, and the Fratelli brothers, which is funny because their name means brother in Italian. So the Fratelli brothers are actually the
fraternity brothers.
The brother brothers. Yeah.
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
His conversation with the pirate. I love. I love. And he does the...
With one-eyed Willie.
You know? Yeah.
I love it by the end where he goes to take it, and he's like, F it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is funny also because no movies when I was a kid had kids cussing that much.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And my friends did.
Yeah.
And you know, you got that after that film. You got Stand By Me. You had other films that came. But that film, but you know, Data, his character, his mom would not let him cuss. And so how he went around that was he spelled the word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guys, we in some deep, S-H-I-T,
Yeah.
you know, which is just great.
Because it's real. Kids
Yeah.
are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids will do that.
You know, they built a real pirate ship, too, for that movie.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
That is so cool.
The huge
Yeah.
set.
And
But that's a great shot when it's sailing away in the
when
end.
it's sailing away. They also tried to do a great shot of capturing the kids. They didn't let the kids see the pirate ship until the actual shoot. And when they bring the kids on, they tried to capture them. But when they did that, all the kids cussed. And so they had to reshoot it because when they came out, they're like,
Yeah.
you know, some really good stuff.
I like the bit about Chunk was always breaking something, and that was progressing the plot.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's look around for something. Oh, broke it. Oh, hey, look, this is the coin that we need to get to this. They get to wherever they're going. Oh, now what are we going to do?
Drops the water.
Exactly. You know, all throughout, he was the guy running the
And
plot.
they set that up from the beginning when the cop car whizzes by and he smacks his
The
pizza and his
the
soda
milkshake, and
against
he's like-
the window. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that the same people as when the little pets that you put water on? Because they make the Gremlins reference in Goonies.
Yeah.
Both directed by Richard Donner. I thought something I thought that was funny also. You know the Rube Goldberg machine?
Yeah.
That's the thing they open the door with the bowling ball.
Yeah, yeah.
If you look when they do the pullback shot and show the whole thing, written on it is Rube G. On it, so they kind of give a toss to the inventor of the Rube Goldberg machine, which I love those things. I think that comes from the whole Tom and Jerry cartoons as a kid, but I love that they fit that in the movie.
Oh, yeah, they would have that, wouldn't they? Where, you snip it and the balloon rises up and this happens. And,
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And it's just one little scene, but it's still perfect.
You get a little nod. I like the kissing scene between Sean Astin and the girl, and she thinks it's the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful. I think there's some holes around here. Did he have braces?
At some point, I think it was in the theater going like, yeah.
The little guy gets it. Yeah, all around. I mean, just a great movie. And, you know, the things that you can use, because you take the bats, which is a pretty good scene coming out. And all those bats were crumpled pieces of black crepe paper.
Oh, really?
Shot out of a cannon.
Wow.
That's
That's
amazing.
crazy.
That is amazing. And it
Yeah.
looks great. Would you be able to tell?
No.
No. Oh, you can tell with the little plastic bats, the rubber ones, when they're flying around Martha Plimpton, you know,
Yeah.
she's all, you know. But you can't tell when it's them being shot through the hole.
Right.
It's just perfect. It just goes to show when you're filmmaking, think out of the box.
Right. That is like the eternal law, I think.
And another thing I thought that was interesting was the football player, John Matsasuik. I suck at names. Anybody who knows me or watches this show will learn that. Anyways, he played Sloth. That eye was done with a remote control. There was a guy always standing off to the side of him with a remote control to make that eye.
But I like the little ear when the little ear would
And then,
wiggle.
the ear moved too.
So
yeah.
cute.
So he couldn't get wet. Anytime, like like during the last part of the movie, and he accidentally got wet, that shut down production for a whole day, because they would have to rewire the eye.
Oh, that's scary. I think I would get electrocuted or something.
Well, luckily, it's only this big, so it's not that big of an electric shock. But
You're
Oh.
right,
But it's over
'cause
your
vision
eye. It's not
is
that big.
highly overrated.
It's
It
not
is
that
highly
big of
overrated.
electric shock, just right next to your brain.
Yeah.
No big deal.
well, you know, I wouldn't be hurting anything I used.
You got me.
It's one of my all-time favorite adventure films.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it beats out Indiana Jones.
I don't know about
No,
that.
I
Not,
agree.
not
I
Raiders.
agree completely.
Maybe Temple of Doom, but not Raiders.
Because it moves along too quickly. You know, Indiana Jones always seemed to have the slow climax to something, then down again, a slow climax. And it always seems so much longer. But Goonies, the beginning seems a little slow, but once it starts, you're off and running.
Yeah. And you just lost your mic. Well, and there's
That was
always that. Okay. Moving right
Let's
along.
put it. Donna, quit texting me while I'm on TV. Come on.
So I'm curious, does anyone know if that was a real pirate ship? Like, did they dismantle it? Where is it? What's the deal with it?
It was
now?
sold for scrap.
That's
they
so
built-
heartbreaking.
they-
Isn't
It
that
should be in a
heartbreaking?
museum. It should be in a museum
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, more
Goonies
heartbreaking.
pirate ship.
Oh, no.
More heartbreaking. Sean Astin, as a gift, was given the map,
Okay.
right, from the movie.
Yeah.
4 years later, his mom finds it in his room, thinks it's trash, and threw it away. Do you know who his mom is?
No.
Patty Duke.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that. Cousins, identical cousins. Yeah, who would have known
Interesting.
that was his mom?
Okay.
And I just read Doris Day is still alive. Because I always think Patty Duke and then Doris Day.
And then Doris Day. I love her for the Rock Hudson movies. Can't stand it for her and The Man Who Knew Too Much. One of my favorite movies.
I liked her for comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her when she was funny. The more drama stuff, I didn't.
I don't think it's her fault, but you know, by the last time she sings "Que Sera Sera," I just want to hang myself. And it's like 5 times in that flick. It's like,
Well, I grew up on her Christmas album.
oh
So I
yeah.
listened to the whole album at least once a day for like the whole month of December. And I still can't get enough of it.
Well, do you guys have any final thoughts on Goonies?
I mean, it's great.
It's great.
You know, the new movie's coming out, or supposedly
The
they're going to
sequel.
shoot Goonies.
The sequel, yeah.
You know, and you had mentioned that they're going to, you know, they have kids of their own. I would really not like to see the kids of their own.
You just like to see them have an adventure?
I would like to see them now.
You know, kind of like It. You know, where you
Yeah.
have the friends, you know, they were all friends, they all went on their own ways.
I'm going
and
to
they
agree
all
with
came
that.
back as adults and re-experiencing, you know, this journey again.
I've always felt that was bad casting and writing, because I tell you what, the It miniseries, I love it when they're kids. And I just always felt like it goes to pot when they becomes adult.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah. Yeah, just let me watch the first half of the movie and pretend that's the whole movie.
But,
Yeah,
but,
that's,
but doesn't it go to pot when you're an adult? I mean, here you are going back home to somewhere where you've been and where you hang out, and you just don't have that same feel. And
Sure.
how do you try and rekindle it? And it's difficult to get back into those shoes of the youth.
Well, I don't know about that. I was just talking about the acting.
And I think the bad acting was apropos.
Maybe
You know?
the bad acting was a philosophical mise-en-scene done intentionally by
Oh,
the
yeah.
director. I'm going to cast John Boy just because I know he won't be believable in this role. I saw his performance in Battle of the Planets, and boy, we need to have him in this.
You can always recast Josh Wheaton, or not Josh Wheaton, Will Wheaton. Will it be
Wheaton?
just as believable?
Actually, Will Wheaton might have worked better.
Maybe. Maybe.
They kind of have the same look, though.
They do.
But I do agree. I would rather see them as adults come
Yeah.
back and have another really cool adventure, like to save the town or something.
save-
Again,
to save
from
the
the
whole town.
same guy, the punk guy whose dad
I see.
you know,
I'd like
was,
to.
was
Like.
trying to take the town.
I would like to see Joe Poli. I suck at names.
Yes.
The bald dude from The Sopranos. I don't know.
I was thinking bald dude from Matrix. But
That,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
bald
yeah,
dude from
yeah, yeah.
Matrix. Yeah. Bald dude from Risky Business. He's the bald dude from a lot of things.
he is.
Yeah, God, you know what? We need a bald douchebag. Who can we get?
That Joe guy.
Joe Pontiano.
There you Bingo. Give him a call.
Anyways, thank you very much, you guys, for being on.
Thank you.
And everybody out there, if you get a chance, you should probably watch Goonies if you've never seen it. I mean, if you have no soul, no heart, and no mind, you probably won't enjoy it. But if you're a real person, you might like this movie. Thank you very much, and please join us for the close.
Wasn't that a great show today? Thank you to TJ and Clarissa for joining us.
Join us next time when we will let loose oscillates loose in the studio just for fun.
No, that is totally not legal.
Talking about Goonies got me thinking. What are some of your favorite movies from when you were a wee lass?
Ooh, I always enjoyed Watership Down, but I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, since you just took Willy, I'd have to go with maybe Mary Poppins,
Yes.
Escape from Witch Mountain,
Absolutely.
The Dark Crystal,
Okay, that's enough.
Heavy Metal, Fritz the Cat,
What?
The Birds, Texas Chainsaw.
What kind of childhood did you have? Be sure to check us out on Facebook.
We dare you to write in-depth movie discussions on our wall at facebook.com/talkfilmstome.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Wait. What is that?
I think I just got a special announcement. Hold on. That is a special delivery. It would appear there's a great opportunity for filmmakers in the area. The 2014 Eichelberg Film Dayton Festival, now in its 6th year, celebrates the best of films from around the globe and here in our own region.
I don't want to touch that. Can you hold it for me? Short and feature-length films are currently being accepted for consideration as part of the festival, which will run August 22nd through the 24th of 2014. Visit filmdayton.com/festival for information on how you can submit your film.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great night. Bye.